Yeah, I can see us here.
It's coming
Yeah,
back.
there's a little bit of delay on out in the stream.
All right.
There we go. Sorry about that, folks. It dropped on us. So we will get
Oh,
right
you
back
fixed
to it.
And now we can talk about what I see when I appear through this gem with my true sight.
So before you could look straight at it, and it was intense, but it wasn't blinding. Now when you look at the seal, this is literally the most intense and powerful magic you've ever seen, and you're almost an archmage. So there are the metal, the binding seal pulses, all right, with a glow that you haven't seen before. And you can see embedded in the rock a series of 8 symbols, all right? And you know, as you are looking at it, you feel not necessarily a sense of unease, but you feel sort of a sense of wistful belonging. All right, it's as you're looking at the sigils, there's a sigil that very clearly is designed for Lucan, and there's a symbol that's very clearly designed for Ralraton, and one for Kalara, and you can see that some of your friends that have fallen would have been perfectly suited for this style sigil, and it just feels welcoming almost. It's a trap of the mind maybe, but you can't help but feel that this was designed for you and for your friends.
That's a happy place then.
Yeah.
This is where we belong.
And it's going to require some serious firepower to drop this. Serious firepower.
Okay.
Well, I do not have serious firepower.
You've got how big?
Eeny beeny. Third level spells.
Okay.
Hey,
Yeah.
you can still roll the dispel. Just knock a 20
Right.
out.
Right. Just
All right. I'll give it a whirl.
All right.
Shit, what's the worst that can happen?
So you're gonna
burn
drop a
that
dispel
you need
magic
later,
on it?
That's all.
I am going to dispel the hell out of some magic.
All right.
So the DC is 10 plus the spells level.
So go ahead and make an intelligence
Yeah,
check.
Gotcha.
yeah, you roll, and then we find out if your roll gets near it.
Kalara, give me a charisma save, please.
Well, okay, I guess so. Tower. Boom.
There's your thrall, Matt. Now there's 2 of them.
Well, you know what they say. Can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs.
in this campaign, that comment is especially funny.
Jimmy, please check your Discord.
Okay.
All right. You see Kalara drop down on his knee. All right. Blood pulses from his nose, and he holds his hands to his eyes. Ugh. And then shakes his head, and he stands up, wiping the blood from his nose. His eyes are all bloodshot. All right. Who's next?
Ooh.
Well,
You just try opening the door.
You're gonna try. There, you don't see a physical way to open it all, Matt. I mean, you don't.
Open sesame.
I'm assuming that no one else besides Ciara and me and myself have the ability to dispel. Is that correct?
Well,
Yes.
go ahead. Go ahead and give me an Arcana check, Shaga. Shia, you can do the same thing. Kalara right now is just shaking clear.
Okay. There you go.
Shia, it occurs to you that this is potent enough magic that if you're going to drop it with a dispel magic, you're going to have to lose a 9th level slot. It's going to be the most potent dispel you can throw to be guaranteed. Otherwise, you're just going to have to roll.
Cool. So it's going to take your 9th level slots to get through these doors because I am tapped out until another 16 hours, I think. And then I'm like, wait a minute, can't we just cast an 8th level and a 1st level or like 10 cantrips or, do like a Captain Planet style thing? Everybody hits it with different levels.
Does it look like
I can do it, right? I have a slot. I'm just, damn it.
Does it look like we can interact with our sigils at all on the door?
With the sigils, well, I mean, you can go ahead. I mean, you can interact. You can touch it. You can do whatever you want.
You can touch them with your eyes.
I'm saying, does it look like they appear to be sigils that you can interact with at all, or no?
You really can't see them the same way. To you, it's just a gem, right? Tim's got a true sight up, so he can actually. Shaga's seeing the freaking physical manifestation of the sigil. So, and
Okay.
I don't know. I don't
detect
know if
magic?
you're. Did Shaga share that or no?
Yeah, I would
Okay.
do that.
All right. So he's pointed out that it looks like there's a symbol that is designed for each of you.
Yeah, in fact, what I'll do, I'm gonna use a cantrip, minor illusion, and I'm gonna draw what I see with the true sight so that everybody can see it. Like, here's a representation of it in the air.
Give the DM a second to pull that up for you, and then we'll just walk right through them.
Man, please state the nature of your magical emergency.
That looks like Kalara's symbol.
Oh, man. I look...
Yep.
Oh, hey, these are familiar.
Hey, Shaga, can you twirl around slowly?
And your friend Faral, who is gone, that looks like her symbol.
Oh, man. What's that?
So the sigils start slowly rotating in the air since
And clearly,
she
that's Lucan's symbol, no doubt about it.
okay.
Man. You know that moment when you realize you've had the names in front of you the whole time and you're like, what?
Yeah. That, yes.
See,
Yeah.
I was right. That is a wizard casting on a flame thing.
And that's Navarra's symbol, but Navarra's been slain.
Right.
That's why the eye is closed.
Okay. So I will show them all of these and show like the relationship of where they are in the gate and all of that, so that we can maybe work together to figure this out.
Oh, so whose symbol's on
And
this
that's
door?
Volant's symbol.
Because this one's a little different, right? This gate is a little different. It doesn't. It's not.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is absolutely different. So
So I mean, I could break it, but is that the right answer when we're not dealing with a trap? And that's an open question. I'm asking. What do you want us to do?
Well, you could, if it's whoever symbol it is, I could always try touching it. Because it seems like Jimmy just,
Okay.
Kalara just tried to touch something that wasn't supposed to be
I
touched.
see Kalara's. I see Lucan's. The other four that are there are the four dead, right?
right.
Okay.
Oh, damn it. So Shaga and Shia's signals are corrupted. I can't get them to open. I'm getting blank. So I think what happened is my server shut down and I didn't port them over.
Okay.
I thought he was just foreshadowing what was going to happen.
It's okay. But we can see those We just can't physically see them right
Yeah,
now.
I'll bring them out so you guys have them later. So you'll have them. I just can't get to them right now. I gotta. I think when something's going on with the internet connection and I lost my server. So, all right. So yeah, you could see all of them and they're all laid out there. All right,
On the one door.
on the one
Yeah,
door.
around the
Yes.
gate, right? Around the edge of the gate.
Yep.
See, I told you. He's a Jedi. This is a representation of the Force. It surrounds you, binds everything together.
Yes. Yes, it does.
Soon you'll be at peace, Force Ghost. Soon. You can be Force Ghost coast to coast.
And it appears that we can't just walk through this, correct? We would have to do something in order to open it.
The seal is a physical barrier.
Okay,
Oh.
just making sure that I understand what I'm seeing.
So we could beat the crap
So
out of it if we wanted to.
you do see, all right, if you're on the elemental plane of water now, you do see definitely elemental plane of water has some role in this. You can see that the sigils on the outside of it definitely refer to that also. So, and tell you what, you got that gravity pulling you towards it.
Right.
The tide goes in, the tide comes out.
Well, you guys tell me. What do you want me to do? Do you want me to dispel with my 1 9th level slot?
I mean, we can try interacting with our own symbols and seeing if it lets us through.
Okay.
Let's give that
Go
a shot.
for it.
Yeah, let's do that.
Everybody, put your hand on the right spot. And I believe saves are coming for us.
All right, everybody, go ahead and give me a charisma save at
Yeah.
disadvantage.
Oh, cool.
Only one of you may pass.
At disadvantage.
Come on, double 20s.
Lacan, it's good to serve your new master. She will take care of you. She will give you a home. You'll be safe. Lacan starts to
Obviously.
be encysted with this blue-black shell and is sucked down into the floor. Kalara, it is good to serve your new master. She will take good care of you. You're encysted in this bluish-black shell and pulled down into the floor, diffused into the floor. Shia, your soul retreats into your ring of mind shielding. Which is in effect the sword itself, and the sword drops to the ground separate, and your body is encysted by this bluish brown and black cyst, and dragged down into the floor. Shaga, you're encased in this bluish brown shell and sucked down into the floor.
No, you will not!
Counterspell, you know.
Counterspell, 9th level, right now.
You don't want to. It seems like a good thing. So, as a matter of fact, you decided about 15 minutes ago this was the team to be on. All right.
Okay.
So the gate disintegrates, water washes out, and the last thing you see as you're absorbed into the hive mind is a large sphere in the elemental plane of water filled with water with Saragu swimming within, and a gate like a dragon's maw on the other side. And Idris, you wake up.
Damn, those elves were fucking up.
Jen, if you'd like to come frolic, that would be great. So, and Tim, if you wouldn't mind stepping out to monitor the stream.
Oh, of course.
I'm guessing we can drop these characters now.
You can pick up your own characters.
Woo. Release.
Good. I'm off that crappy character now and onto a real
It had nothing on my cunning and insight. Oh man, it feels good to have inspiration again.
Oof. And hero points.
Yeah, those are designed to really be fun for your players.
You called?
Delbert, you were there. And Penny, you were there. And Jenna, you weren't there.
All right. Let me get this in position for y'all. All right. So you make up, Idris. You're waking up in bed, next to your friend the Bard. All right.
Oh,
So you wake up in bed with her and sit up. The rest of you are in your different rooms here. So, you know,
I'm like, great Scott, they're all somebody's bitch.
that's right. So there is Penny's room, and there is Jenna Bink's room, and there is.
I jump up because this is my one chance.
All Thonians look the same.
Yeah, no, this is my one chance to show up.
There's Delbert's room
and all them with my arcane knowledge that I've gathered from the other realms, and I run out to find them in the inn.
All right, give me a second here, folks, and I'm going to drop you guys back on the combat tracker so I can place you.
And I as I'm running out, I call out and I'm like, "Baby, come on! You ain't gonna get a chance to see this again."
And all right, you can have your favoriteest characters back again.
Woot.
I know you're all looking forward to high-level play with Tad now.
Gotta do something about those charisma saves, Brown. That's what we got.
Oh, I'm good on that. I just need to work on all the other ones now. All right. Okay, Idris is over there. I'm like, all right, so I jump up, I run out, I try to open up Delbert's door real quick, banging on it. And I'm like, hey, come with me. Come on. And then I run down to Penny's room, which is over here. And I knock on the door. I'm like, Penny, come on, get up right now.
I'll take a second to lock the door.
We're going to Bink's room. Let's roll.
Why are you coming to my room? Don't make me cut you.
I know what the symbols mean and who lives in the sword.
You been drinking again?
I am 100% sure I've been drinking, but
So,
Alwyn to back me up.
Alwyn Morwin, all right, is with you, and she's like, calm down, calm down. He woke up screaming. I don't know what happened to him, but he woke up screaming. She goes, let's go in my room. It's big.
To my lady's room. And I go over to Jenna's room and I'm like, Jenna, open the door. I'm about to prove today I am the smartest one here.
I'd like to see that. So, actually, I wouldn't like to see that at all, but okay. And I will go over there with Catapult.
You can write a paper on how wrong you were today.
That's not how that works.
It kind of is.
Well, I suppose that is true. Like, if I had created the hypothesis that I was wrong, I could then write a paper, proving and disproving that. But as this is not the case, that I am wrong, because I never really stated that he couldn't be right. I don't think this works.
As she's talking, I'm like, I'm about to arcane science the shit out of this.
So you got something you want to tell us, or you're just gonna stand there and start spouting craziness?
I say to Delbert, I'm like, hey, all those symbols that were on the backs of everybody's necks, put them up.
And I'll create an illusion of the symbols.
All right. I'm like, you see all these symbols that we thought they were like controlling things? They're actually the personal symbols of 8 Eladrin elves who fucked up and started serving some masters maybe down in the depths of the dungeons of Castle Blackmoor, and they were trying to like fight some Sarai goo down there. And hey, I thought it was funny. It was something we'd never do, but they all decided to touch.
Owen.
Door.
Owen says, "You're not making sense, Idris. You're not making sense. Start at the beginning so we understand what's going on. Right now, all you've said is that there are symbols and they're from Eladrin, but it doesn't make sense to me, dear. Come on."
All right.
She
all right.
she sets a bottle of brandy in front of you with a glass, pours you some, and says, "Get focused."
Boom. Fire water. I drink it, and I'm like, all right. It all started in front of a big tree. There were 4 Eladrin elves, and they were on the run from what must have been hundreds of orcs chasing them, right? They were stuck somewhere, and there was a gate in front of them. They had a choice. Go through the portal or fight the orcs. And they kind of pans it out, and they jump through the gate into the unknown. Real ballsy move, right? Turns out, sounds like half their group might have been dead, so, they went through, and they found themselves in a place where there were these, like, big, like, mechanical creature-looking things, like, that spit fire and bleed molten lava. There was a furnace that was dumping fire on them.
Genevieve starts taking notes at this point.
Yeah.
And as I noticed you taking notes, I'm like, see, I told you there's a paper in this thing. When they went through the gates, 2 of them, I don't know, it looked like a warlock who was carrying my sword around, and then like some wizard who was really warrior-like because he used his blade, kind of like you, Delbert, but he had a bigger weapon.
When you say that, when you say a warlock who was carrying my sword around, you suddenly feel a very strong disapproving presence.
And I'm like, I'm being told with my spidey sense something was wrong. Let me think. What was her name? What did they say? Shia? I think that's what she was called. Right, yeah. And she was the one carrying it. I mean, it's not her fault. It's a gate. It's a powerful magical item,
When you actually say Shia's name, everybody in the room suddenly has this image in their mind. You all see her briefly. All right. And you remember that when the sword first manifested itself, that was all flashed into your consciousness.
Yeah.
I believe we actually saw her for a second.
Boom, there you go.
Or somebody did.
Yeah, so she carrying around the same sword. And they fought these creatures, and they came up to a gate. And one of the other Eladrin in there, I think his name was Shaga, he was their, kind of primary caster. He was using some kind of gem to look at the door, and then he cast something at it, and the seal broke. I think there was something about molten metal, like getting pulled toward the gate. There was like some kind of gravity pulling everything towards it,
So you feel a strong desire to draw your sword.
I pull out my sword, and I'm like, look.
All right. And you think it might be good to put a little bit of blood from your blood into that cup in front of you.
Okay.
Whoa.
Okay, so as I do it, I'm like, huh, and then like Klingon style,
So-
I do the jerk move.
And you drip it in there, and you say, you think it might be an outstanding idea to pour some brandy in there and have everybody take a sip from it.
I'm like, guys, I got an idea. You can come on a vision quest with me. Let me put a little in here to power up
drinking
this
your
sweet blood. Don't make me force it on you. Don't make me force it on you. Drink it.
force. I'll cut you. What are you doing?
I've
They're
already
going to-
cut myself. It's just redundant. If you cut me, I'll pour more in for you.
Yeah. There's not an unlimited supply of that inside you, buddy.
As she's talking, I'm like trying to put my bloody hand on like her mouth so she'll drink it. And I'm like, just take it.
Get your
Take it.
hand out of my face, you disgusting animal.
Can I
I'm
make
like-
an arcade?
Delbert,
I'm like,
knowledge
oh,
arcana
you can
check.
tell him. Yeah, tell him.
Yeah,
I'm-
this is-
Can I also
is
do that,
definitely-
please? I was
Go ahead,
trying
Jen.
to get in there with it. But the antics. Oh, the antics. All right.
There's definitely some bad mojo involved
my
in
insight.
drinking other people's blood. So
Well, I'm not Jim Jones. This Kool-Aid's fine. Come on.
Delbert, you don't trust this because it could potentially be compulsive. At the same time, it might be a conduit into information. All right, Genevink, there's something going on here. The sword seems to be acting on him, but you're not quite certain. Penny, Idris is a dick.
Okay, that's nothing.
All
I
right.
haven't already known. Yeah.
All right.
Idris, I don't think any of us want to drink your blood, so you're gonna have to do a real good job just explaining what happened.
I mean, I want to tell you, it's safe and effective, right?
Alwyn, actually, I would like to hear your opinion on this because this does seem to be somehow the sword acting upon Idris where he might not be quite himself, and I do have some concerns that way.
Look, all I know
When
is
you
that
look
4
at-
out of 5 bars.
When you look at Alwyn Moreland, she is struggling to be part of your conversation. All right. You guys are definitely, when you look up and you see her, you remember what happened to the fetch when you guys were trying to talk to him and it was like he was trapped outside of the conversation, another place and time. That's almost what's happening with Alwyn, but she seems completely and totally focused on trying to break through it.
I'm gonna walk
Here,
up
drink
here.
this.
Where rats? Where rats?
No, it's more
She
like
goes,
Where?
she reaches forward and she grabs the cup and her hand's shaking and she sips the cup and she sets it down and suddenly she snaps into focus with you and she goes, "Oh my God, I can see it.
boom. That's my girl.
I can see it." And she puts her hand on Idris's shoulder and she goes, "Idris, is Shia in the sword?"
Yes, she is.
She is the sword. She is one of the elves. She's the Moonblade. And she sits back in the chair and she looks down at her hands and she's like, "Oh my God." And she's
God,
just
because we
stunned.
worship pantheons.
Right. She says, right. She's like, "In Sartha's name." All right, what are the rest of you doing?
Ooh.
I mean, if the high level's going to do it, y'all can do this.
Genevieve's going to do it. She can't not participate in the experiment.
She's more curious than cautious.
Yeah.
Ha 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 ha.
I just
The
want you to think
temptation
what that
is too
blood has
great.
been, Jenna.
I've got to do it as well.
Oh my-
There's alcohol. It kills
I saw him
things.
do a thing with an orc once. You really want to do that?
Oh no!
She's saying
Penny,
that as I'm
that
already
is worth
thinking.
inspiration.
That was the other hand.
Idris, I need to know your sexual history, please.
Well, one, you've been with her too.
All right, so Jenna Bink grabs it and drinks next, right?
Yes.
All right, Jenna Bink. You may make a charisma, a will, or a intelligence save, your choice.
I wonder which I shall choose.
Pick the lowest.
Charisma.
Would you
Fine.
like to
Charisma.
would you like to use inspiration?
Yeah, I'm feeling that might be a good call. You know what? I'm going to use a hero point too, just for good measure. I don't even know if I need it, but I'm going to use one.
Jen, forget it. Go ahead. You did.
I did.
You rolled a 1 and a 4.
God damn it.
All right. So we'll wait. Jenna Bink sets it down, and first thing that happens, Jen, is you start to see the images. The images wash over you. All right, and you are living through what Idris was just explaining to you. You see the gates, you see the symbols, you understand everything that you've just passed through, and then you hear the coot, the coot, the coot, the coot. Second time you have been touched by the darkness. So,
Boom. Now we're all on the level except for our war wizard.
who's drinking next?
I will.
All right.
I'm definitely going to.
Inspiration
that
and hero point right out of the
inspiration.
gate. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
We're not even going to
That
mess
lot of good it
around.
did me.
You can give
And-
yourself back an inspiration, Delbert. I was going to give you one for your comment of not knowing your sexual history because it made me snicker. But
All right.
Which
And
makes
I'm
no
gonna go
sense
ahead
because
and-
everybody should know his sexual history.
Drop that rascal.
you break through it. You see everything, and you can feel it pushing against you. All right, and it's not her. It's definitely not Shia, but the mere process you think of touching what you're touching makes you vulnerable. Right? It's almost
Okay.
like if you struck a loud bell and the bell rang, it would call the attention of everything near you. And whatever the level and plane of engagement you have between you and the force in the dungeon, it calls to you. All right? And you're able to hold it off. But you can see everything, and you shared the experience that Idris has just described.
Okay.
Penny, the cup gets set down in front of you. What do you do?
Why did you all drink his blood?
Because real warriors aren't afraid.
This is not about an afraid thing. Your blood is disgusting.
Alwyn says,
Disgustingly tasty.
you can see in perfect form everything he passed through. It'll make so much clear to you, Penny. And
But-
for me now, I'm in sync with you.
What? I don't. You mean like on our cycle or something? What are you talking about?
In other words, she's
Well,
not,
that's quite possible. I didn't think about that, but we all could be in the same cycle. No, what I meant specific. Well, Delbert, go ahead.
you know how everybody's getting nosebleeds whenever we talk about things in front of them?
Yeah.
She won't have that happen anymore because she drank this concoction.
What do we get from drinking it? Because I don't get nosebleeds as it is. So why are you all drinking his blood?
You understand what caused the most of the things that we've been going through in the dungeon. It's a
Trip?
sort of like a vision quest.
Jenna, did you learn anything from this?
I did, and I pick up my book and I start furiously.
Not you, Delbert.
Yeah. So Tad, what does happen to Jenna?
Jenna just has a really bad headache, and she can hear his voice. She can hear the coot whispering in the back of her brain, and she puts it away. She fights it off, but she knows he knows who she is, and she knows he's closer. Now, it does occur to you that based on your exposure, you're going to end up having increased knowledge about some things you encounter. So the next time you see one of the sigils, or you see something else, or you're looking through things, being exposed to this is going to give you, and potentially Delbert, increased abilities. You're just going to have knowledge that's going to help you. Game effect, increased advantage on some rolls, perhaps advantage on some saves. And Delbert, you feel the same way. Now, you know right now, Jenna Bank, it's going to be harder for you to resist. You've missed 2 -4. But you think you might have the ability to get advantage resisting it because of what you've just passed through also. And I will drop that in as an ability. So by drinking the blood, you share information with him, and you're going to have some in-game effects that will help you resist the actions of the dungeon or understand it in better terms. But I'll have to build that out for you and drop it in.
So Penny, there's a whole lot. I'm understanding where Idris is coming from, which is scary by itself. So that might be a point against drinking the whole blood thing. But I will say that it is very interesting, and there is some knowledge that came with that whole experience, along with some possible psychological and mental resistances. So I will certainly leave the decision up to you. Certainly there are pros and cons to the experience. And plus, we still never did get that answer to Idris's, the orc thing.
You always were an asshole, Idris. And then I'm going to drink it.
But I was a white asshole.
I'm going to use inspiration.
All right, you're going to use your hero point coming right out of the gate?
I can use it after the roll, right?
Yeah, you can.
I'll use one.
You are fine.
Oh, well,
You
I'm
are
more
fine. You make it. All right. And, you see everything, and it washes around you, and you see Lacan, and it's like you're moving in his flesh to a certain extent, but you step away from that, and you feel this pressure on your brain as something tries to push in, and you're like, I know what you are. Get the fuck away from me. And you repulse and push off the voice.
Penny then gets up, walks over to the bed, and throws up the blood all over the sheets.
Nice.
Owen watches for a second, casts prestidigitation, cuffs you on the back of the head.
Oh my God, Idris! It tasted almost as bad as I imagined it would. Jesus.
Penny, you may have that inspiration back.
Oh,
All right,
God.
we need to have the Fletch partake in this process.
Yes, all of
I
you will
think
be my
this is what
vampire
he's been
thralls.
waiting on.
No, I don't think that's part of it, and I don't think you're a vampire, so I think that's inaccurate.
You're totally drinking the blood. Y'all are vampires. Don't go out in the sun.
I see I'm going to have to program something into Catapult that's like a fail-safe that if I ever do become your thrall, Catapult will have to kill me.
All right.
Don't worry. If you ever become his thrall, I'll make sure to kill you.
As you say that, I go out of the room and I take my bloody hand, I just wipe someone catapult. I'm like, you're safe now. I come back.
2 properties are manifesting for yourself in the Moonblade. You can feel them both, PJ. The first is now that it's a fully +1 magic weapon. And the second is her brain, her presence is conscious. It's in your brain now. And you are pretty certain if you do things that she disapproves of, there's going to be a conflict.
No, not the conscientious power from my high-level character.
Yes.
All right.
All right. What would you all like to do?
I think we should go share a shot of scotch with our friend the Fletch.
All right.
Hey, Tim,
So
have we
don't-
dropped out there?
No,
All
it
right.
looks like it's still going.
All right. All right. It's probably my boys are both assaulting me. It's probably can we order pizza? I know how they are.
They got
Not
their
respecting
priorities
this
right.
dream. That's right. All right.
If it makes his head like not want to explode, then yeah, we should probably go see the Fletch. And also, he might have that hammer for Jenna.
That's true. Although my sleep has been interrupted. Before we do that, as a matter of fact, since, did we get a long rest before he starts banging on our stupid doors?
Yeah, you guys got a long rest, so let me give your characters a long rest.
Ooh.
Ooh.
So, but before we go, Penny, why don't you give me your crossbow and I'll quickly tinker that up for you so that you can,
Oh,
you know,
it's a
actually
short bow,
shoot
but
things. Oh, it's a short bow. Oh, okay. I can recalibrate for that. I wish I had known that. I guess I suppose I should have noticed that. But you're always really hard to see.
yeah, I try not to let people see me because then they can hit you if they see you.
Oh, maybe that's my problem.
But if they
Anyway,
don't see you, then you can stab them right in the neck repeatedly.
I find crushing things much more enjoyable. It's much more cathartic for me. So I will then take the infusion off of my warhammer and put it onto her short bow.
That works.
We should expect resistance in going to see the Fletch here.
I mean, maybe, but we can always expect resistance wherever we go because everybody hates us.
Why would we be expecting resistance?
Probably because this thing seems to be kind of like omni. What's that word you use?
Oh, you meant external resistance. I
Omnipotent?
thought you meant
Yeah,
from,
that thing. Yeah.
I thought you
and,
meant from the fetch.
Well,
pretty
it's
much
not
every time we-
necessarily omnipotent. It might be omniscient. The two are very distinct and different.
Yeah, whatever. So it knows what we're doing, and it's probably going to try and kill us again because that's what it does on like a daily basis.
I'm starting to understand your paranoia, and that's disturbing.
Well, listen, Delbert, I didn't want to tell you this because I feel like you take it to heart too much, but you really need to stop staying at your estate.
Agreed.
I think Jenna Bink has made an important point. Omniscient means that it's a god. Nothing you can do, I can do, will deflect it. Or omnipotent means it would be a god. Omniscient means it's constantly aware. So it's going to have an awareness of us. And as Delbert has said, that awareness will cause it to work and act against us, against you. So,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if the gods were omniscient, wouldn't Hadeen not gotten killed by his brother? I mean, he would have seen it coming, right? So,
mm.
got to put a hole in that theory, right, Jenna?
I'm always happy to test hypotheses. Yes.
Oh, you know what? The Fletch may not willingly drink this, and I get my little swig thing, and I just squeeze my hand into it and shake it up.
You really should stop the bleeding on your hand because that's not good for you.
I do one lay on hands. I'm like, oh. Watch this. I lay my hands on my hands. Bye.
That would be an interesting calculation.
Inception.
So a typical Hythonian body has about 9 pints of blood in it. So when he does lay on hands, does that increase the amount of blood in the body? That's very fascinating. I'm not quite sure how to test that without killing him, though.
It's how I yo-yo diet my way through swimsuit season.
I also don't know if you noticed, but typically whenever anybody does these ritual things, they always cut the hand open. And that seems like a terrible. You know how many like muscles you got in your hand? That's like the worst place to cut. Why don't they cut like the forearm or someplace soft?
No, you just cut on one of these lines right here. That's what they're for. That's what they're for.
Actually, the forearm would be a very bad place to do that as well. There is an artery that runs up your forearm.
Yeah, but not if you know where to cut. Around that artery.
Well, you're assuming that Idris knows basic anatomy, and clearly that's not the case.
Not male anatomy. No. Female. That's different.
I think your point is valid. From now on, cut on the back of your hand.
What?
It
What?
would just be
It's even
better.
worse. Oh, please.
Let's maybe go see the Fletch now. I don't know how much we're getting out of this.
Yeah, we got a Bloody Mary with his name on it.
All right.
Yes, we do.
All right. I'm going to, I think the session with the Fletch, we're about 10 minutes out from the end of our 3-hour window. And I think the session with the Fletch is going to be pretty intense, to be perfectly honest with you. That's probably going to be at least a half hour's worth of role play. So we'll get to that to next week.
Holding down an old man, force him to drink blood. Yeah, I can see that.
So I guess what
It's
we'll
gonna go
do
great.
is I want to thank everybody for joining us in the stream today. I really, really, really super appreciate that. And, it's just sort of a flag for everybody. Dave Arneson Day is next Thursday and Friday. And we are talking about what we can do to support the stream. We're definitely going to be doing a stream on the following Saturday. I might open up a table for folks that want to play with me, and so we'll be setting that up. And I really want to thank everyone for sort of indulging us in this narrative thing that we wanted to do today. I really enjoyed DM and 17th level characters myself, and I think my players enjoyed themselves also. But I guess what we'll do is I'm going to hop over. And PJ, why don't you talk about what you really enjoyed today and, what Idris figured out, what Shia figured out, just your general reactions to what's going on and how you felt.
Yeah, that solidified my idea that 2 levels of Warlock is good enough for me. At high level. That's a lot of limited spell slots for my tastes. But I have a lot more role-playing options for it, so it's going to be a lot more fun.
What Idris figured out, what Shia figured out, just your general reactions to
what's going on and
how you felt.
Got that beautiful echo. Idea that 2 levels of Warlock is good enough for me.
Yeah, that is an intense echo coming through.
Yeah, we're getting some echo there.
Yo, Tim, hit your mute button.
Sorry, buddy.
That's okay.
Boom. I used that power on the sword I forgot to use, which I could yell at someone up to 300 feet away.
Look at yourself, Private Paul.
Well done.
Yeah, as for Idris, I don't know. I think he might have a Kali Ma complex now, trying to get everybody to drink some blood. But yeah, just getting everybody with it. But I think he's starting to realize that what he thought was a more malevolent presence might actually be more helpful now that he has more context around it. he's definitely got a lot more understanding of what the symbols mean, other than just like guessing at what they look like, and that potentially either there's five. Well, there were what was it? There were 8 people in that party originally, and it sounds like at least 3 of them may not be serving such malevolent masters, since one of them was able to escape and not get claimed by the master. So we may be seeing a flashback of some of these amazing damage-dealing characters in our future. So he's thinking about how to prep for that.
Awesome. Mr. Gilmore, would you like to talk about your reactions to the stream and what you thought was interesting?
You did get me with the symbols. I did not make the connection until I started seeing the symbols pop up, even though the names were exactly what the symbols were. You waited enough time between showing the symbols to this one shot for my brain to forget that, and so kudos on you. It was interesting. It confirms a lot of what I had suspected as far as the extraplanar stuff. And yeah, today is International Rabbit Day. So if you have not watched Nocturne, you really should, so that you understand the importance of International Rabbit Day.
Absolutely.
And I'll leave it at that.
So, all right. Thank you, Jimmy. And I can't endorse Table Story and what they did in Nocturne enough. It's some of the best jamming I've ever seen. Really good storytelling, too. So, all right. Matt, let's talk about what your experience was.
Well, I got to experience having a really bad idea for us all to touch the symbols in a really horrible place. That was good.
That was very Genabink-like, I have to say.
Well, I was like, he doesn't want to burn a 9th level spell slot. It's only a 9th level spell slot. We got a bunch of symbols with our names on it. Why don't we all touch them? What's the worst thing that happens?
What's the worst thing that happens?
I was just afraid. I didn't know what was behind that door. And I'm thinking, you might need the big guns behind something that's just as crazy looking as this. So,
Yeah.
And now we know, just unload.
Yep.
That's the lesson.
Yep.
Now we know for the future, we just got to get us way away from this place as far and as fast as possible. And
That would be the smart thing to do, is be like, Blackmoor, peace out. But
Actually, what we should do is just let the Afridi take this place over, and then they can deal with it. Huh?
Terrible idea. Terrible.
So I'm going to hop to Tim next because Tim was in play. Tim helps me do a lot of the narrative structure and a lot of the composition. And initially he was hopping on because Jen was going to be gone last week. But also Tim's a great player, and it was nice to have him in the stream just from my perspective. But anyhow, Tim, can you talk about what it was like playing through that and what you thought?
Well, I mean, I had a great time playing. I've had a lot of fun helping design this whole thing with you too. I kind of hang out behind the scenes, and Tad and I talk about what evil we can plot for these players that are in kind of the main timeline. But doing this one shot and getting to play a character that's this ancient elven archmage is a lot of fun. It was fun for me to kind of be the problem solver, which is usually the kind of character I like to play. We need to get through this gate. Well, I guess I have the tools to do that. Let's have some fun with that. And I'm curious to see how this goes. There may be more flashbacks. So you folks out there may see Shaga again. We will have to find out.
Yeah, serving as new master.
Yes, my master.
I mean, what Tad hasn't told us, there's already been a plant of a party since day one.
So-
Maybe there's a reason I wasn't involved.
She doesn't actually use arcane
Sorry.
science. She uses arcane trickery.
I can't
Yes.
take Tim enough. When I first started doing this, I reached out to Tim, and Tim has some commitments that aren't going to let him commit to a long-term game, or he'd be playing with us. But I very much said Tim has helped me break my writer's block on several occasions, and he's helped me craft and refine stuff. And what Tim will do is he'll take a whole bunch of the things that we've encountered or that you guys have done, and he will feed into it, so it's a collaborative process. So it doesn't end up being just static. It ends up being evolving, and I really appreciate that. Jen, what would you like to talk to us about?
I would like to talk to you about the feeling that I got at some point that it felt like someone was bad mouthing gnomes and tinkering, but I don't know where that was coming from. Otherwise, I'm very interested to see where this goes because while I did remember the symbols and the names, just because I've been writing all the notes, I don't know that, Jen as a person trusts where the intentions of any of those entities are or how they associate or what we're going to end up doing. Like I'm waiting for us to yes, all be thralls of something, but I couldn't resist having Jenna Bink drink the blood. So there we are.
Oh yeah, that was definitely Jenna Bink's like field experiment go. So I
Yeah.
saw that. I saw that. It made sense. But I think that's a good point that you guys are seeing the surface now in ways that you didn't before, but you don't know what rests beneath the surface. So I think that's a really good point, and I appreciate it. I really want to thank all of you for being willing to take time outside of your normal characters and work with me in this. That was outstanding. And Uther once and always. Jimmy, do you have somebody you want us to raid today?
Oh, I haven't even looked.
So say we abolets.
Table Story is going.
Let's raid
Oh.
Table Story.
All right.
I think there's only like 5 or 6 of us left now, but we'll head in anyhow. So, and the Table Story folks are absolutely exquisite GMs. They just do fantastic work. So,
All right.
all right, everybody.
Ready?
Ready?
Away we go.
Whoosh. What?
I have no idea what they're doing. Looks pretty interesting.
That's weird.
Empire the Masquerade.
Mine said failed to load module.
Oh man.
Like I have a chat room that I think is their chat room. Yep, their chat room, but the video didn't load. It's very weird.